everyone, it's the Tides Changing here, and welcome to episode 5 of my Let's Build series. In today's episode, we will finish landscaping the front yard. So the first thing that I did in this video is that I wanted to make flower gardens next to the stairs going up to the porches. So over here, I am laying down the dirt for the gardens. And I was trying a few different ones, but I ended up using the same one that I always do. I thought it would look nice to have some plants lining the walk up to the stairs. And I initially lined it with rocks, but I feel like with the rocks it looks too busy, and plus there's already rocks lining the other gardens. But yeah, I did it completely that way at first. So another thing that I was worried about with doing with the rocks is that since I used the Move Objects On sheet, I was worried that it might interfere with being able to get up the stairs. And yeah, at first I put those flowers down there, but I didn't like that they went past the rocks. So as you can see here, I ended up using just a flower terrain paint just to make it so it wasn't all dirt under there. And here I'm just adding the same kind of plants that I put in the other flower gardens, because when it comes to putting plants in houses, you don't want to use too many different plants because then it'll look too crazy, especially if you use very colorful plants. And now I'm just moving on to the other side and doing the same thing over there. So when I moved on to the other side of these stairs, I decided to try something different. And as you can see here, I used the really low border fencing. And yeah, I'm just putting the dirt in there. And I tried it because I want to do something simpler than the rocks. Because like I said, I had used the rocks in the other part. And now I'm just putting in the plants on both sides to compare how it looks. And I think that the border fencing looks better because it's a little bit simpler. And like I said, it's something different. Plus, I felt like that was too small of an area to use the rocks for. Like, they don't work as well when you're trying to border something on all sides. So yeah, now I'm just deleting what I already did and redoing it with the fencing. The white border also goes well with the white stairs and fencing. So I guess that's another reason that I decided to use it. And yeah, now I'm just finishing up with putting all the plants in there. And the next thing that I wanted to do is I felt like that grass area right there could use something in there to make it more interesting, so I decided to put some palm trees in there, just in front of it. And yeah, I decided to go with a taller palm tree, and plus that's also the same palm tree that you could see there in front of the house on the other side of the street. And once again, just putting in those bushes. And I was going to put flowers there, but I felt like it would be too busy, so I ended up just going with a few rocks. And there I'm just finishing up by adding some dirt under the trees. So for the front of the house, I wanted the area that sticks out to be the focal point, even though it isn't directly center. So I wanted to add a fountain in front of that area. So as you can see there, I'm just adding in a nice round 4x4 fountain. And like I said, I wanted to give it more of a community lot feel, and I feel like the fountain really adds that nice luxury touch to the front of it. And I'm just extending the pavement area to go all the way up to that flower garden. So I'll probably put some benches in there, so it'll be a nice sitting area for your Sims. And here I am trying to change the wallpaper and floor of the fountain to match the exterior more. And now, of course, I am just putting in the fountain part of it. And yeah, I decided to go with a medium-sized dome fountain. I didn't want to choose the large one because then you would have water going onto the pavement, and that would just look weird. Right here, I decided to change the path going up the stairs just to match the rest of the asphalt, because once you put the flowers in, it just looked kind of weird to have it different, and I think that looks much better. Now here I was having that same terrain paint issue. As you can see, I'm in the pavements, but yet for some reason I was putting down flowers. But anyway, what I'm doing here is I felt like it was a little boring just to have the pavement all the same color. So I am adding in a darker colored pavement to the center of it. And I think this makes it look nicer, and it makes it look a little more interesting. And as you can see, I'm just making it circular around the fountain. When it comes to landscaping, I feel like there's always this tricky balance between having it be too busy and, having no green area and just stuff everywhere covering every inch of the yard, and having things being too barren and, having your front yard looking sparse. I feel like I kind of have a tendency to go the overboard way of things, but I've been getting better at that lately. But anyway, going back to what I was doing, I felt like it looked weird to have the circle going all the way around. So on the front part, I just made it go all the way to the street, and I think that looked a lot better because it's kind of hard to get it to be a perfect circle with the ground paint. Yeah, and there I just lightened up the wall and floor of the fountain a little bit, trying to get it to look right. And now I'm just doing the paving on the other side. And on another note, I got a lot of progress done on the other house that I'm working on last night. So I think that's looking pretty good so far. I think in the episode on Monday, I said that I was going to try and experiment with colors a little more because I always make things blue and green. And I ended up making the house green, or at least the, accent color part of it. But it's lime green, which is a little bit different, I guess. In the future, I'll try to make different color houses. But I like how it's coming along so far. It's not quite as, I guess you could say, epic as Honolulu Haven was. But it's still a pretty nice house. It's built right on the water. And like I said in I think Monday's video, it is a traditional beach house. Yeah, I think I spent about 3 hours on it last night. And usually, especially during the week with school and all, I don't have that much time to spend on it at night because normally by the time I'm done with, school and work and everything I have to do, it's between 9 and 11. Most of the time between the 10 and 11 range. So yeah, between the time I get up to go to class, I'm usually pretty busy up until about an hour or two before I have to go to bed. And so normally I only get about an hour, maybe two to spend on The Sims, and that's not even every day. But yesterday I had a really hard exam, and I had spent a lot of time the past, 3 days before the exam studying for it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do what I want tonight and not do any homework. So that was nice. I really needed that because my brain hurt after the exam. It was pretty tough. And I'm kind of worried about it because at the end of the class, only about a quarter of the people in my class remained because everyone else left early. Like, there are people leaving half an hour and 15 minutes early. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing because I know in college they say you don't want to be the first person to complete exam because usually that means you just gave up and handed it in. So I hate to say this, but I hope it's because people gave up, and that's just kind of how it works in engineering. And I feel mean saying that, but you gotta keep ahead of the curve. Anyway, getting back on topic, here I am putting in some benches around the fountain so your Sims can sit there and enjoy the fountain and read a book. And I was just making the wood pattern match the pattern on the deck. So once again, everything just kind of goes together. I felt like this area could use something else to make it more interesting. So I decided to put on a fountain in front of the stairs there. So, your Sims get to walk past a fountain as they go up to their apartment. And yeah, I'm just putting that in right there. I made it a little bit smaller than the other one, just so of course the other one is the main focal point. And I just put a little, geyser type fountain in there. And now I'm just putting in the same exact kind of fountain on the other side. And I think it definitely makes things look more interesting in the front. And here I decided to change the wall to the rock wall and make the floor a little darker because I felt like it was too light. So I just want to make it a little bit darker. I feel like not a whole lot got done between this episode and the last one, but that's just because doing the landscaping and the interior design usually takes me a little bit because I feel like I have to get things right, so I redo it a lot. And yeah, as you can see here, I'm just trying to figure out the perfect floor to use that matches things perfectly. So yeah, I spent quite a bit of time trying to figure that out, and I think here I finally got what I ended up using. And yeah, I was just trying to compare it to how it looked originally, decide which I liked better, and I like it this way better. And I am now just finishing up by adding in the fountain over there. And now that the front yard is complete, in the next episode, which will be out on Monday, we will move on to landscaping one of the sides of the house. And thanks for watching, and bye!